Hello, hello, hello. I am Grumm. That is my own little Bubby, this little belly bolt fella here. My hair is crazy, and I am your BUBL Season 1 analyst, providing you all the insight and little expertise things that you could have in your heart and desire in your heart for all things in Bubby's Ultimate Battling League. This week, we are going to be wrapping up week 2 with a quick recap, going over the predictions and talking about the standings. We also have a little interview with the commissioner of the league and coach of Playmore Esports, the General himself, General Tar Heel. So you're going to want to stay around and watch that. We got some insight into week 3 itself as far as the previews and everything. 6 games as always. Great games on deck. Before we do that, I have my weekly question I'd like to ask you all. So last week I asked you who your favorite logo of the 12 teams were. Got some good responses, solid responses. This week, we're going to dive a little bit deeper now. We're getting a little bit more specific with the league itself. What was your favorite game of the first 2 weeks? Personally, D-Ray and Linz, just 2 battlers coming up with some great plays, great sets, and just hitting the plays that they need to do. I appreciate both of their creative approaches to that battle. It was a fun back and forth, and if I had gotten the polls up in time, we would have the awards. But that's my own personal game of the week and my favorite game thus far of this season. So let me know in the comments below your favorite game from the first 2 weeks of this season. D-Ray and Linz flung us into the week with a burner of a match where the Choiced Owl versus Choiced Owl matchup was everything it was promised to be, but D-Ray's Choice Banded Decidueye was too much firepower as the San Diego Spirits won 2-0. 2 championship favorites in Pokeaim and Diet Type met on the beaches of Paldea, but Pokemon is a game where one turn can make all the difference as Diet Type's Ting Lu missed a crucial ruination, allowing Joey's Landorus Incarnate to claim all 6 knockouts, giving the LA Wakers a 4-0 victory. Roommates squared off in our next game as Playmore and General Tar Heel took on the roommate Vandy and the Detroit Piptons in a toxic affair as Overquill laid down 2 layers of toxic spikes, poisoning half of Vandy's team, putting the clock on his chances of winning this matchup. In the end, it was too much as Playmore walked away with a 4-0 victory and Vandy holding all of the rent. Halfway through week 2, next matchup up, we've got Nexus and John Jr. with 2 of the strongest Terra captains in the league taking each other on. Nexus stacked hazards on John Jr.'s side of the field so high that his own Dusknoir was unable to see over them like Kyler Murray at the line of scrimmage. Ogerpon, Wellspring, and Kiram recorded 3 knockouts apiece, giving Nexus a 3-0 victory. In a highly anticipated matchup, Iron Buffin and Uzi Gunner waged war over the terrain as both brought their terrain setters, but Uzi's defensive duo of Terra Water, Rillaboom, and Tinkaton proved too much of a problem for Buffin to get through as Darkrai netted 3 knockouts to clinch the 3-0 victory for the Titans. In our last match of the week, Seabbad and Callum recreated the biblical battle of the immovable object and the irresistible force as Raging Bolt won not just the war of attrition over Hatterene, but did so with enough left over to take out Gouging Fire as well, leading to a 3-0 victory for Seabbad. Before we dissect this week's slate of games, I just want to take a leap here and ask you to subscribe to the channel. I'm hopeful to meet my own end of the year goal of 500 subs, and by the end of the year, I believe you can help me with that. I totally appreciate if you're able to also leave a like on the video, as it will help YouTube see that smart Pokemon fans like you who are interested in Draft League want this kind of content. It would be very good for me, and with a moment of your time, just a click of a button, you can make my day unforgettable. I am committed to making more competitive and non-competitive Pokemon content in the near future, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. Now let's jump to our preview. This week we have our first interview, and who better than the commish himself, the coach of Playmore Esports, the General Tar Heel. We spoke for a decent bit, and we could have spent even more, but I asked him simply, what was it like to be at the helm of this league?
I mean, it makes me feel great. John was definitely all about it. Once I just, had the emphasis of it lets us, build out the league and the storylines and stuff more that we want in the future, even if we look at like invitationals and stuff like that, not just a full-on league. We've got a few hiccups, Terra points maybe could have been a little bit better for like some of these Pokemon in the tiers, but it's like, apart from that, I mean, the league has been very smooth. I know people have been having a good time. So, and then of course all the creators everyone's familiar with in draft. So I think it's been a great start. I know John's very excited for it. I know the Playmore fans are really excited about it. And it's like, it's just the first season. There's still going to be so much room for growth in the future, especially if we're able to pick a time where the Playmore team can do a little bit more, and then maybe I can provide more in the future too. So we'll see.
If you want to check out the whole thing, the full interview will be up shortly. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. But if you're watching this after week 3 has been completed, the link should be in the description below or in the card above. I've had a fun time sitting down with Ben. I'm looking forward to doing more of these this season, but I don't want to bog down these previews with the full interviews, so there'll be separate videos with more questions and more fun. So go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified, and leave some questions you might want to ask some of the coaches. Let's get you prepped for week 3 here a little bit. Set the table, if you will. Transaction-wise, nobody made any changes. No one felt like that they needed to move Pokemon around at all, Terras or anything, but I'm telling you right now that that is not the case in the next 2 weeks. But we're going to get to that then in those previews. So don't worry about that. We'll get right to that next week. But we got to get through this week, right? So prediction-wise, I went 5-1 last week. 5-1. The only game I got wrong was Uzi and Boff, but I correctly picked D-Ray, Pokegame, Playmore, Nexus, and Seabbad. So 5-1 last week. The previous week, 4-2, 9-3 on the season. Might be... I know my stuff. Let's get into this week's slate of games as it's week 3 in the bubble, everybody, so hang on to your lily pads. Up first in week 3, we've got Linz taking on Iron Buffin, and Linz has the offensive edge in this matchup. If you look at the stats, both her physical and special attack this week complement her bulk, and Excadrill looked incredibly strong in this matchup, as most ground types do against Boff. Only Meowscarada and Landorus can naturally resist its powerful ground type moves and a rapid spin, and this Pokemon is going off. I'm gonna say it. It's gonna happen. Linz's Terra Captains, on the other hand, Titan could be an interesting option. Terra Fire would let it resist Iron Moth's fire types, Clefairy's fairy types, without opening itself up to Meowscarada's Flower Trick, like with a water type move, or just in general. Also, just keep it strong there. I like that. Skeledirge can just stay as is this week. I think. I think Titan as a fire type, very strong for Linz. Buffin, the one spot that Buffin has the edge is defenses, though. If you look at these numbers, right? I said that offensively, it's there. Special defense is incredible. Helps this week against the likes of Tornadus T, Skeledirge, and Hoopa Unbound, who the latter can just get off strong moves, but Tornadus T and Skeledirge are going to have to kind of get set up a little bit. It's an odd matchup for Buffin, mainly because his best offensive options don't have a clear line of, clear line of sight to get the win here. But Sandslash, Alolan Sandslash's typing looks really good, especially with 2 potential snow setters in this game, not just, on his side, but in general. Having said that, Iron Crown could solve 2 issues with 1 Terra type, and that's flying. It would allow it to become immune to the Excadrill while also giving an offensive threat. I think for the prediction-wise side of things, Boff's off to a slow start, but he's got 2 finals appearances in a row to show for this last couple months. So he's capable of better play. Linz has shown there's no rust on her in terms of returning to the Draft League format. I'm going to take Buffin here to get his first win of the season, because I would like for nobody to be winless going forward, so I can talk about how people have all won. But also because I'm unsure if Linz's team's going to have the ability to get through the defenses in time to secure the win. A real doozy matchup here between Callum and Nexus, but on paper that's the case. Callum's team's actually in an okay shape when you dive a little bit deeper, and my God, does gouging fire could be a problem this week. It looks like it's going to be a problem. 1 natural fire resist on Nexus's side of things, and it's Cinderace, who simply won't always be a fire type, and let alone be able to stand up to a gouging fire. Having that on top of Kilowattrel with an ice type or a water type, the pressure will be there from Callum's side of things on Nexus, especially with Kilowattrel. It's only natural. Its natural typing is hard to resist between electric and flying. I could see maybe Terra Steel Hitmonlee, because its special defense bulk can help with Kyurem this week. but that's about all he's got in terms of that. Callum's got one of the lowest special defenses by team roster, and Nexus generally struggles to take advantage of that. However, Grumm has a very solid matchup this week, and there's a lack of special defenses. Hatterene is that. We saw Hatterene and Raging Bolt go to war, and I think that might be a little bit more of a troublesome for the Grumm power. Because Grumm has Flash Cannon or even Iron Head if you want to go physical. My own issues with Nexus's team has come up before, the Ogre Pond, because it's not a good one for it to use its Terra in terms of it loses a ground typing, right? It loses or grass typing, which opens up Crocodile. It opens up Kilowattrel's electric attacks. It opens up Sinistra even more than it already is there. But having said that, Raichu as an ice type could look really good. Yeah, I think Gouging Fire matchup though is too good. Callum gets into brain empty click button mode with the Gouging Fire, and Gouging Fire just goes nuts. I'm going to take Callum in this matchup. John Jr. and Vandy is our next matchup here, and coming off of another 0-2 loss. Wait, my notes here say it was a 4-0 victory because he said it was going to be mark it down admin power. Okay, so he lost. It's okay. Look, it's all right, John Jr. I didn't update the thing further, but I left that part in because I knew you were confident. But no, look, John Jr.'s team, highest physical attacking team in the league, if you look at it, one of them at least. Just look in their chops. The defenses on Vandy's side of things, not there physically wise. I like normally to highlight 2 Pokemon, but this matchup for John Jr., it's one. Simple. Enamorus, specifically contrary, Terra Flying, Enam. I'm calling it like Babe Ruth, pointing to the fences. Because outside of Thundurus, there's not a real threat to Enamorus in this matchup from Vandy's side of things. Vandy has a very strong attacking team, but his special attackers, that's the key for Vandy this week. Primarina, strong matchup. Only Muck can resist the fairy moves. And it's getting off specs, boosting Moonblast, or setting up, looks strong even against the Muck. Thundurus is going to need a couple things this week, primarily finding a way to get through all that bulk. The Terra Fairies, the Ice, or Flying could help with that. Both coaches could use a win here before the mid-season point. I think both have clear win cons, but I think being a man of simplicity and being a man who goes, hey, path of least resistance in matchups and your predictions, and 9 times out of 10 that has been good. Literally, I am 9. Well, I guess I'm 9-3, so 9 times out of 12 it has worked for me. I think Terra Enam is the easiest way for John Jr. to get the win this week, and that's why I'm going to go with John Jr. Coming up next here, we've got Diet Tight taking on the Uzi Gunner, and preseason favorites going at it. Diet, a preseason favorite. Big week for the special attackers in Minnesota. Strong week also for Roaring Moon, who could overwhelm Uzi's squad this week. Shout out to Electabuzz for potentially, probably not, but potentially giving Uzi a taste of his own medicine with a potential static proccing with the ability there. I love Terra Hydrapple every week. Specifically, Electric lets it use Zapdos as setup fodder. Could go Terra Dark, though, to help with Darkrai and Zoroark, who the Darkrai has been taking names all season so far. Very, very could help with that. I don't want to say Fairy just because I like Electric, or I like Terra Dark to get a full resist there. Uzi, gonna have to position the attackers with intent, because Diet's got some real good walls this week. He might not get the most shine on the team, but Passimian, I'm a big fan of it this week. Big fan. I mean, it did get some shine. I wrote these scripts before I saw the week 2 games. Passimian did get the thumbnail, but it could have an even better week this week. I also like Rillaboom, especially after Hydrapple Terras. Keep in mind, something to watch for there. And for Uzi, either Terra Captain Strong, I really like Rhyperior. Can give Uzi a physical answer to the likes of Roaring Moon, Quaquaval, and Ogerpon, all with a simple Fairy-type Terra. I think that's probably the best case to go for Rhyperior this week, just like his bulk there. Uzi told me that he's playing like his old self, to which I say, I don't know if the old Uji was playing like this, man. Sheesh. Back in a serious way for Uzi, aiming to catch up to Joey in the conversation of best Gen 9 draft league player and Wi-Fi discussion. But Dai said I could have his sword, which is cool. I like swords. And with this matchup being a toss-up, I am going to go with Dai because he could not only ask for the sword back, but use it against me, and I'd rather simply be wrong than attacked by somebody with a sword. Up next, we've got Seabbad taking on Playmore. Seabbad's side of things, balanced approach, helps this week, right? Especially when you look at the special attackers who can open things up this week for the physical attackers. Great Tusk, being one of those physical attackers, looks incredible here. Max Scar, just scarf a max attack and just click big damage buttons. Headlong rush, close combat, coverage move again, ice spinner, I guess, for the Dragonite. I like that all. Mainly because female Basculesian with Terra here is very scary. Terra Electric, Terra Ice, Ground can be a problem for Playmore here. In the rain, especially, or just going with straight like adaptability. Very scary stuff for Playmore here. Seabbad's defenses leave a lot desired, though, when you look at them. I love Volcanion, my guy. He's my guy. He's my truck. That's the title chief. Acknowledge the title chief. He desires to see a team in front of him with these kind of special defense-like options. It could be a great week also for Staraptor, who just launches Brave Birds with banded Reckless boosting, especially because Great Tusk is the only rocker on the field on the roster for the Steel Wings. But sticking with the flying type, Terra Volcanion could become a Terra Flying Volcanion. It would help a lot, even with Raging Bolt's potential, you're still weak to it, right? That doesn't change. But I do think Terra Flying would be better for Superior as the primary. You let Volcanion stay who he is. Flying, ground, or ice really help with the matchup here for Superior. It's a tough matchup for Seabbad, but he has that Great Tusk, which Great Tusk has the ability. It's one of the best Pokemon in Gen 9 draft. Like that, there better snap there. Flipping the matchup there. Depending on how Ben's prep goes, Playmore could find themselves at the bottom of a mudslide before they realize it. It's going to be the unpopular pick here, and I know having Ben on for the interview in the week, it's bad time. I'm taking Seabbad on this one, and I'm going to be ignoring DMs for at least 24 hours after this video goes up. Closing out week 3 here, we've got D-Ray and Joey Aim, and D-Ray, this might be the week, bud. This is the week that looks like it to me. My eyes, look in my eyes, what do I see? I see the kind of week that you talk about from years, in years from now, not from years. You talk about this kind of week. Terrapagos looks really strong here. You're going to need coverage for both ground resists as well as the ghost type. But man, Terrapagos looks good here. Not as strong as the Keldeo with the Terra into Fairy type. Just click the buttons. That's always my advice for everybody. But for D-Ray, just looking at this matchup, the speeds are in his favor a little bit. The bulk's in his favor a little bit. Very strong week for him potentially. He's got Keldeo. I think he's got the better Terra Captain here. Terrapagos also can landslide an entire team. But hey, man, you might say like, hey, but it's Joey. But this is a really weird week. If you look at the defensive profiles that D-Ray has on his team, it might be a little rough for Joey here. I like Whimsicott though, right? Offensively, Specs Moonblast only really having to worry about Weavile's speed and Scissor's priority. Of course, the same thought applies to Iron Valiant. You can say the same thing, just get off Specs Moonblast. Very good there. He's got versatile Terra Captains this week, every week really. But this week, Petron, I think, has to stay its natural typing because of the Terrapagos. Well, that's going to let, I think, Bellybolt deal with the Keldeo or let Avalugg deal with Scizor. I think those are that's the tough thing here. You either got to deal with the physical priority guys or the Keldeo. I think this game is a great one to cap the week off. If you're watching this before you watch the full week, obviously there's a playlist. I put these all in the playlist. You can go watch these in order of the schedule. No matter what, though, save this game for last. I think this is the game that you want to save for last. Two strong teams, two crafty battlers, plenty of priority, plenty of good, strong Pokemon. I just think that D-Ray has a little bit more this week. I just think with Joey's threats, D-Ray has a little bit more. And if he doesn't, he's got the priority to threaten back and revenge. And the question, I think, is what will Joey cook up here? And the other side of that, will it trip up D-Ray? I don't think so. I'm rocking with the spirits. I'm rocking with my guy D-Ray. I'm rocking with Annihilate, who I love this generation. I think that D-Ray gets himself a win here, and that's going to wrap up our game previews. One more time before we fully wrap it up, let me remind you of the winners. That's right. I'm telling you who the winners are, because that's my predictions. They're my predictions. I'm almost always right? 9-3 on the season. I'm taking Buffin, Callum, John Jr., Diet Tight, Seabbad, and D-Ray. 9-3. I know what I'm talking about, right? So let me know in the comments below who your picks are, who your predictions are, and just all this stuff, right? Remember that I love you, right? I wrote this week. I wrote the outro this week. That's gonna wrap up our week 3 here. I know it's crazy to say it, but we're almost at the halfway, at the end of the half, almost at the halfway point, right? Blink. I was gonna say click, blink, and you know it. The end of the season will be here, regular season. I know I'm gonna enjoy this ride. I hope you enjoy me. Sit passenger with me, sit in the back, hop in the bed of the swamp truck, swamp wagon. I don't know what we're calling this thing, but hang out. All right. Remember, like and subscribe. That's how you can join me on this ride. This channel for BUBL analysis and some interviews. Again, the General Tar Heel interview is not yet edited as I'm recording this, but it should be. And if it's not out before this, it will be out after this. I want to hear from you as well. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think about the analysis, think about the league. I want to hear what your favorite match of the first 2 weeks are. And if you're watching this after week 3, let me know what you thought about week 3 as well. I'm always also open to suggestions on how to improve the quality of the analysis that I provide. So if you have them, let me know. If there's something I don't cover that you would like to be covered, whether it's maybe, like a matchup, type matchup thing, let me know. I can also do that, like highlight that. Reminder, you can watch all the week 3 battles. This isn't a playlist. There's a playlist attached to this. You watch it. Sundays, their battle videos go up. This goes up on Saturday. These analyses go up the day before. You can just go to the link in the description below for the playlist for each week's sets of games. I make sure I'm updating them as I go. I appreciate that. Tomorrow, August 17th, the coaches are going to upload their points of views, and you can find all the links to all 12 coaches as well in my description below. If watching the week's battles isn't enough, my interview, again, with the Commissioner League, General Tar Heel, is going to be up as well. And you can also join Joey Pokegame tomorrow night, EST, Sunday, August 17th, for a watch-along, or just go there and watch the VOD. Nexus is also going to do one, I believe, on Monday night, EST. So go watch with Nexus and his community as well. I will also be putting up community polls throughout the week to name the best awards for week 3. I did not do it in week 2. I apologize again. I'm sorry. Last week of summer course been a little tough. I got a wedding coming up for my brother, so actually that's when next week's preview is up, I will be probably giving my best man speech. I am Grumm. I am your season 1 BUBL analysis, and if no one has said it to you yet today, let me be the first one to say it, or let me be the next one to say it if somebody has said it to you. But either way, I love you. Mwah. Peace.